The Athlon Sports College Football Preseason magazine is out. I got my hands on it. Where is Clemson ranked? It's a good question. Where is our Clemson Tigers ranked in this preseason magazine that I've been getting for many, many years? I got an old one. I got to dig it out and show it to you. It's, I think, 1994. Antoine Wyatt is on the front of it. That's going way back. But Athlon Sports just released their preseason rankings, so we're going to talk about that in just a second. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I hope you're doing well. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina, in the past hour or two, you've probably experienced some really, really bad weather. I hope everyone is doing well. Hopefully it just watered the garden and didn't destroy it. So I hope you'll subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Pass this around to all your friends, neighbors, even the people who absolutely hate the part in my hair. I'm glad you're here as well. So let's dive right into it. Before I tell you what they're ranked, I'm just going to tell you that most of the time you've heard me rant and rave about this, like many other things that you've heard me rant and rave about, that I could absolutely care less about preseason rankings. And when I look at the preseason rankings for other teams, like, I don't know, Penn State. Here we go again. They're the number 8 team in the country. Let me see where they have Penn State. I think it's number 8. They have Missouri at number 10. I mean, Drinkwitz did a good job, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do it again. Penn State's number 8. Looky there, Notre Dame's at number 9. We've heard this song before. Got Ole Miss at number 5. But they have Clemson ranked number 15. Number 15 in the country. And, of course, they lead off with that Clemson did not win 10 games for the first time since 2010. Now, folks, that is an accomplishment that Clemson had won 10 wins, all those years. We know this. I know this. Dabo Swinney knows this. Anyone who is worth their weight in salt as a Clemson fan, whether you agree with my critiques of the team, that's a big deal. And then, of course, the next line is talking about the transfer portal. Now, that's as they're summarizing the team and the ranking in their top 25. Now, I enjoy books like this. Of course, I have Phil Steele. I need to check and see if it's arrived yet digitally. Phil Steele's books, because it is head and shoulders above everyone else. You get a lot more analytics. I really like that. Analytics will tell you a lot about, well, anything in life, quite honestly, if it's done right. But I like books like this because it re-summarizes the teams. And you can pick and choose what's fluff, what they're just trying to get people excited about so they'll buy more magazines in the future and all this bunch of crap. But I like it because it gets everything centralized in one place, especially Phil Steele's book. So I'm going to read something that an opposing coach supposedly said about Clemson and Dabo Swinney. So this is if you go to Clemson's actual page in here to where it breaks down the team and so on, this is there, and it's under Scouting the Tigers. So an anonymous ACC assistant coach says, 2024 could be a turning point for this program under Dabo Swinney. I said that already. I agree with it. The writing is on the wall. Okay, here's where it gets deep. You can't ignore the transfer market, and you have to play ball with NIL. Okay? I've already said NIL, transfer portal, all that bunch of crap. I don't mind us getting a player here and there. That's not the problem with Clemson's offense. We're reaping what we sowed with poor coaching hires in the past. And I still think we have some more work to be done in the offensive coaching hiring room process thingy. Yeah. Hiring Matt Luke was a really sharp move. Praise the Lord. There's this idea out there that Dabo won't listen to outsiders, and Matt's a guy who can bridge the gap. I do agree with this assessment. He's worked in the SEC forever. Again, great. He knows how to recruit at the highest level, and he knows how to manage the politics and dynamics. True again. Whoever this guy is nailing it, except for the transfer part. He could really help Cade Klubnik, or he could really help. So, Cade Klubnik is the real deal. When you watch his 23 tape, he turns a corner as the season goes. He's starting to get it, and he could break out as a true superstar this season. Superstar, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I cannot imagine. Okay, I'm going to get to what I was about to say. Other than just the chirping of the transfer portal and how that is the key to Clemson getting back to, I'm tired of that. This is a lazy argument. This is just regurgitating what other people are saying. And if you look people in the eye and tell them, the true problem at Clemson is not the transfer portal. Yes, we can get supplementary players. Great and wonderful. We have a development issue on the offensive side of the ball, and we have seen this, and hiring Matt Luke is not going to fix it overnight. That is unfair to him. Everybody will look at you like you're an alien speaking Mandarin. And I'm not backing down. If I know that I am right, I will not back down. If I am wrong, I will apologize. I'll say, hey guys, I had it wrong. I'm not saying the transfer portal wouldn't help. It's not going to fix Clemson, folks. It's not. And I'm sick of that. Other than that comment that I think is just lazy, it's parakeeting. You know, you're a parakeet. What did they say? I'm going to say it too. And then he's going to say it. I hate that. I hate that. I agree with the assessment. This is a pivotal year for the Tigers. Now, what's interesting is as you look at, as they break down the defense, their assessment of the defense is pretty much my assessment of the defense. Clemson is losing a lot of experience that has been around. Some of the players, like XT, has been around. He was a freshman when Trevor Lawrence was a freshman, when they won the national championship. Losing that presence is a big deal. Tyler Davis, gone. That's a big deal. Obviously, Jeremiah Trotter and Nate Wiggins, that's a big deal. But what is funny about this is that on the defensive side of the ball, as I've said in the past, the hiring criteria for the defensive side of the ball and the offense or the defensive staff as a whole is quite different than the offensive side of the ball. And it's night and day, and that is why we have the different results. You have, like these guys are saying, and I believe this, I'm not worried about our defense. Yes, we're going to be young. Yes, you're going to have a few moments where you're sitting there going, okay, there's some of the inexperience. There's a true freshman, or there's a sophomore that had some really great play last year, but he farted during the funeral and everybody heard it, and he messed up and he gave up a big play. You're going to have some moments like that. We know that, but they are not worried about the defense. I am not worried about the defense. It's just the offense. It is the offense. You know? And when you look at the breakdown that Cade was ranked number 80 nationally ranking in QBR. Well, all of us could see that and guess that. I didn't have to see the rankings to know that it was not good. And then this line right here, highly regarded offensive coordinator Garrett Riley promised explosiveness, but his unit rarely looked the part during his first year, as the Tigers ranked number 50 nationally in total yards per game. Did they hear about that part where Dabo, for some reason, was wanting him to learn our offense? You know, our offense that was terrible, that was awful. He brought in a guy who's supposed to have a system that's supposed to be incredible, but he needs to learn our system that didn't work so he can implement said system, but he gets blamed if that's terrible, awful, benign, pedestrian, anorexic, offense doesn't work. Okay. That makes sense. Of course, it praises Phil Maffa, as it should. Jake Brenningstool, as it should. There's some of you don't have respect for Brenningstool. I'm telling you, Brenningstool is, I think, a fantastic tight end, and he's a fantastic receiver. He may not throw these world-class blocks out on the edge like you might want him to, but get the ball to this guy. Get the ball to this guy. They talk about the wide receivers. But let's talk about the ranking. The ranking, number 15. I slightly agree with that preseason ranking. I really do. I lean more towards number 17 to 20, somewhere in there. And you ask the reason why. Why? Well, we start off the season with Georgia. In Atlanta, Georgia has a lot more things going for them right now than the Tigers. And that's why if you look at my name right now, it says Brian, worst Clemson fan in the world. That's what I'm going to get for some of you. And that's fine. I ignore you. In fact, when I see it, I laugh. I'm not kidding. You should ask my wife or my kids. When I see it, I'm like, ticked off somebody again because I told them the truth. Clemson is not the Clemson that we knew in 2018. It's not. It's not. Nope. You can sit there and do hum the Tiger rag as much as you want to and do the C-L-E as much as you want to, sing the alma mater. We're still not. Still got the hills, still got the rocks, still got Death Valley, still got the same coach. We're not dominant like we used to be because of the offense. It's the offense. And Matt Luke is not going to fix all of these problems overnight because all the problems are not the offensive line. The offensive line obviously contributes to it. It's a big deal. The trenches are huge. But do not be shocked, folks, if the offensive line comes out there and looks really good and some of our wide receivers don't look as good as you think they're going to look. So I think 17 to 20 is more of an accurate ranking for Clemson. Obviously, the games of concern, Georgia, Florida State and Tallahassee, you have the whole DJ dynamic. The one thing I do agree with some of you on, you've left this in the comment section, I agree with you. If there's any team in the country that knows DJU, it's Clemson. It is. It's Clemson. Clemson fans know that guy. They know his tendencies. They know what rattles him. How many times did Brandon Streeter try to get the ball out of DJU's hands fast? Multiple times. And how many times did that turn into disaster? A lot. So the whole idea that Mike Norvell is going to get the ball out of his hands fast, and that's how he's going to fix him. Maybe. Folks, as soon as I say that, I might have to hit up some of my buddies that I've had on here. Double fries, hold the slaw, TJ over there, my buddies from Plant the Spear who had a great time. If you haven't watched those videos, you need to go check it out. They were kind enough TJ had me on his show. I know the guys from Plant the Spear and myself, we're going to get together later on. Had a great time with them. We had great conversation, picked fun at one another. It was a good time. It's what talking sports and talking about other teams supposed to be. It was fun. We picked at one another, but it was civil. But I warned them. This is not going to turn out the way you think it's going to. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. NC State's going to be tough. So Clemson could very well end up 4-1 after the Florida State game. The dust settles and they're 4-1. Clemson could be 2-3. So I heavily lean towards the Tigers because, by the way, our season's top heavy. Remember? It's top heavy. As the season progresses after the Florida State game, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's definitely not like the first 5 games. 3 out of the 5 games. And Appalachian State's going to fight us in game 2 in the home opener. They're not going to come in here and just be proud to be in Clemson, South Carolina. They've beat other people on a large stage before. We know this. But I think 17-20 is a little more realistic. For once, I actually agree semi with their ranking. Folks, tell me in the comments section below, where do you think Clemson is realistically ranked? Again, some of you have us in the playoff. Okay, that's your opinion. That is wonderful. You have your freedom of speech and reaction, or freedom of speech and thought, and I do have, just like you do, have my freedom of reaction. I just don't see it. I really don't see it unless they really get their crap together. And I hope they do. Where do you see them ranked? If you don't mind sharing with me why, I would actually like to hear that. Also, I'm part of the College Huddle. The College Huddle, you can Google them. I need to drop the link in the video below. But the College Huddle is just a group of YouTubers and podcasters like myself who represent their school. They asked me to represent Clemson, and it's an honor to do that. So go check them out. Also, if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, hit the join button below. It's $3 or $5 per month. You choose. If you don't see the join button, it's probably because you're on an Apple product. You'll have to, especially an iPhone, you have to go elsewhere. At least I hope you'll subscribe because it is free. Folks, we're getting closer and closer to the season. I'm going to get into the comment section, say hello to a couple of people. Got Parker Henderson in here. He is a member. Good to see you. Thank you, my friend. It's good to see you. Great to see you in here, Parker Henderson. Got Big Red in here, Clemson alumnus. What's up from Augusta? Tony Cheek is in here. Oh, God. I once set off a still sample for analytics. It got forwarded to Clemson Wildlife Division because they came from it Bear. Oh, my God. You're crazy. Worst Clemson fan is a bold title. It really is. It really is, Jonathan. But I'm a bold person. I have no clue, Rodney Ellis, but I would tell you this, that Athlon has them ranked like number 7. And I think that's a little high considering they lost Harbaugh. Harbaugh was a very good coach. I think he's very, very, very good coach. Going down here, let's see. Katusa 93's in here. Ricky Morgan. I agree with that 100%. Absolutely. Folks, you take care of yourself. Drop a line in here. Let me know that you're in here. As always, go Tigers.